Part 4 brings back some memories. But before that, let's start a bunch of new ones. We open up in the casino. Dougie, he's winning tons of jackpots. He's hooking up the lady with tons of jackpots. We meet David Dasmalchin, Even Suppley, and Brett Gelman. Right off the bat, 3 new faces. Besides Brett Gelman's last line, they all do a good job. And I hate Brett Gelman, and I'm giving him a compliment. David and Ethan do amazing. Ethan has to do one of the most insane exposition dumps of all time, because Dougie has now started to get better at parroting and aping. So his vocabulary is getting better. And if it wasn't for the weirdest exposition dump of all time, he would have never made it home. And when he finally gets home, and I love that limo driver, he was in my Owls Aren't What They Seem supercut. Outbusts for there's 2 amazing character intros in this episode, and one of them's Naomi Watts. Man, she comes out like a firecracker, smacks him. You've probably seen that on the behind the scenes or clipped nowadays. And he has got a bunch of money, which kind of smooths over his weird ass intro. He's been gone for 3 days and he comes back with a power suit and a power haircut. So she's half and happy. Denise, speaking of some old memories, Denise is now Gordon Cole's boss. Role reversal, and we get one of the most overused, but it's amazing, I'm not making fun of it, one of the most amazing pieces of damage control that is. I don't know if you were around in the early 90s, and I don't know if you had gay friends in the early 90s, but I'm talking from personal experience, not from stupid internet nerds. The Denise character was pretty divisive. I knew a couple people that thought, oh, that's cool, and I knew a couple people that thought, that is misguided. Well, David smashed all that with one famous line, fix your hearts or die. I love it. I said it's overused because I've seen it on everything. It's the #1 meme I've seen of Twin Peaks. And maybe because it's awesome. It is a great line. Fix your hearts or die. And an even better sentiment, we cut to Lucy in 2 perfect Lucyisms. One, she can't figure out what goes on when she's not there concerning the heat. But then we get an amazing Robert Forrester intro. Subdued and old school, holding up his cell phone, knocks her flat down, but he holds it up the whole time. It's like Alligator. Most of you probably know El Camino and Jackie Brown, but I'm talking old school Robert Forrester, where it's just subdued and slightly quirky. Alligator. One of the first 4Ks I ever bought. But anyways, Lucy cannot figure out how cell phones work. Her hubby has to take care of her. Forrester bounces for the second of the best intros. We see a fellow cop walking down the hall. He calls to him. He goes to turn around. The camera, which was already moving, double speeds up to Bobby Briggs turning around. What a character arc. He is a cop. Bobby killed a guy. Not to mention numerous other felonies, but he straight up murdered someone. Now he's a cop. His teeth are floating. He pisses. Wait till you see Dougie's piss. They go into the conference room. Bobby cries. Andy says the title of this episode. Not an episode. I made that mistake in the first one. These are not episodes. These are parts. Brings back some memories. We meet Chad, who you can tell no one likes. We see the expansion of the Twin Peaks police station. They got like a computer room. Chad is kind of a dick. He does have a funny ass line though, because he's shitting on Log Lady, which you should not do. They tell him to hit the road, and he goes, yeah, I gotta go anyways. I gotta go have a word with my pine cone. I honestly can't tell if that's Mark or David, and it doesn't matter. Great line. Then we get to meet Wally Brando. I shouldn't say get to meet. We should say we have to meet Wally Brando. I've kind of warmed up to it now, but it is one of the nails that are David pounds into my brain hole. There is a huge trait this way. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to skip over this. There is a whole scene from this movie that is a whole scene from a movie we made about the sun. My brother has always busted my chops because I didn't end it correctly about during the day or at night. David did the exact same thing, but also did the fix that my brother yelled at me for not doing. I just said the whole thing. I said, well, that was the abridged version. It's the My Shadow Was Always With Me scene. Anyways, Wally, real cool Dave. We cut to Dougie. He doesn't know how to pee. Luckily, his beautiful wife, Janie E., shows him how to pee. His son gives him a thumbs up. But right before that, we see the one-armed man. Might be my favorite part of this episode. You see, when I love the trolling nature that most people don't even talk about of David, like, I'm going to give you something so that you like so much, but I'm going to also give you this. The one-armed man says, "You see me, don't you? You've been tricked. One of you has to die." We have a dumbass breakfast. We do have an owl cookie jar. And if you thought Wally was bad, wait till you see him try to drink hot coffee. And before you squawk, I know nerds love that shit. We cut to Buckhorn for like a 30-second scene. The prints are back on the dead body, blocked by the military. Cut to the FBI. We got Gordon, Albert, and Tammy arriving to talk to Coop. We've all been waiting for this. It was how we ended last part. They get debriefed on him. Everyone who's come in contact with him gets sick. He was caught with some cocaine, a machine gun, and a dog leg. And let's go talk to him. Wheels up, very, very. They have the craziest conversation. It is very odd. You gotta remember that Coop and Albert were really good friends. He only talks to Gordon. He doesn't even look at Tammy, and he does share a couple seconds with Albert and then back to Gordon. He's repeating himself. He's saying, "I was with Philip Jeffries. I need to be debriefed." They bounce to outside for a very blue scene, little on the nose, but it's amazing. And Tammy's wearing a wire, so she has to bounce. She's like, "You made me wear this." And one thing here, I love this. Tammy is very sexy. As she leaves, not Gordon, but Albert and David both admire her butt. Albert out loud to Gordon and the audience. Gordon, not so much. David's camera, sure as hell does. You want to know what I think about that? Fix your hearts or die. Or as you kids say, no kink shaming. You're allowed to be a pervert. Her ass is awesome. And if you think that's bad to say that or that camera dip, you need to fix your hearts or die. They talk about the blue rose. Albert admits that he got a dude killed through Philip Jeffries, which I'm sure was a whole ruse. He wasn't talking to Philip Jeffries. We've seen the missing pieces. We've seen Fire Walk with Me. Pretty soon we're going to see a teapot. They mentioned the blue rose. The blue rose was mentioned yesterday too, when Major Briggs floated through space and said, "Blue rose." I didn't even bring it up. And that's part 4. How do you like this shit?